Hello. Okay, everything seems to be working. That's great. I wanted to go live like 12 minutes ago. I got distracted. I got very much distracted. I was like, oh, you know what? I can set up like this and I can change this. And in the end, I just ended up changing a lot. No, not a lot. I did some like minor changes for behind the scenes stuff on streaming, but it took longer than expected. Okay. I have no clue how much of the game we will be playing today, because honestly, I kind of forgot what I know because of the screen I'm looking at that we ended step 2. And that's it. I kind of forgot everything about last time. It has been a while, so that's fair, honestly. Maybe I should do some kind of recap. Honestly, I feel like I should do some kind of recap purely because I also need the refresher. So it would be nice. I'm gonna check something real quick, because why are you not saying I am in fact... Okay, now you're saying I'm live streaming. That's nice. Oh no, I'm pressing wrong buttons. Hold up. I just wanted to see if I was live on Twitch, not whatever buttons I am pressing now. Okay. Yeah, you guys will enjoy this beautiful screen that I'm staring at. Okay, recap. Honestly, there's not that much. Okay, that's a lie. There's a lot to recap, but I'm gonna skip most of the like big stuff. Basically, Cove moved into our neighborhood. We slowly befriended the dude. I think I choose that we're now slowly developing a crush on the dude. I feel like I'm missing something. Like a lot has happened. Like, so, long story short, the first step was like getting to know him, and he was kind of a gremlin. But it was okay. He was eventually okay. He just was unhappy about moving away because his parents divorced. And the second step, his mom suddenly came to visit, and that was like an entire thing. And in the third step, honestly, I have no clue what we're gonna do. That was your recap. I'm very bad at recaps. Glad we figured that out, at least. Yeah, we're gonna go... Oh my god. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'm fine with the crush. We're going crush, and then we can figure out love later. I decided at the start I was slowly gonna build it up. Next time I'm probably not going to be able to do it because I'm already attached to the characters. So let's just go slow this time. Begin step 3 at relaxed crush. That sounds really weird, but yes. Cove customization. Yeah, I was gonna do the entire first playthrough, because we all know by now that I'm gonna stream this game again. That I was gonna change neither of those, because I want to see how my choices affected the story. Since you're romantically interested in Cove and are old enough to start being physically affectionate more seriously, you can choose that intimate level he has through step 3. What does that mean? Make sure the player experience what they want is important in our life, but always putting your choice first can potentially make a relationship feel one-sided. Okay. So we added some flexibility in how it works out. I am slightly confused about what it's trying to tell me because I'm reading words and I'm just not understanding what I'm reading. But I think I'm to blame for that. So we can just ignore ignore that problem. Low initiative means that Cove will occasionally ask to touch the main character, and in those situations there will always be an opportunity to say yes or no. For example, he won't simply lean over and kiss the main character as a greeting or in an emotional moment. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Every piece of physical interaction will be either initiated or approved by the player before it happens. Okay. Middle initiative means there will be those certain times when Cove requested to touch the main character, many chances to initiate affection on your own, and also Cove will pretty regularly give affection automatically. One example would be giving the main character a kiss because he's happy or emotional or something else. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna go with the middle option, but in other situations you can choose not to make the first move in order to give Cove the space to be the one to act afterwards. Overall, Cove can get romantic, but the player's agency will take priority. High initiative includes everything middle does, but it also means that the player agency will be reduced to a degree in favor of having Cove give physical affection even more frequently and with less prompting. That also sounds kind of interesting. Hold up, I'm getting messages on my phone. This is just me. This is totally not me trying to make a choice and just pushing it forward, but like, okay, no. Hold up, this message. I'm not gonna read it out loud, but it's kind of funny because I think the person who was writing it just pressed enter way too soon. Okay, we will see where that goes. Instead of other major affection given situations being led by a choice menu for you to decide on, some will instead be replaced by Cove acting automatically. This level is only recommended if you're very comfortable with physical affection. Sorry, the rest, the message got completed. It was indeed sent way too early and it sounded really funny. With physical affection, and would prefer to simply see it happen rather than always holding the reins on it. However, this level is mostly irrelevant in Cove, ending up as your official boyfriend at some point. Situations where high-level initiative make a difference tend to come up in scenes that are exclusive to being in a relationship. The parts that are also included in the middle initiative will be seen whether you're dating or not. Once you pick your level, it can't be changed later. You'll keep your full playthrough in mind when deciding. We hope you enjoy whichever initiative function you decide on. I'm gonna go with middle because I might be a really affectionate person. I like to hug friends and all that kind of stuff, but I have no idea how that plays out in this game. So let's just keep at least some of the control. I don't want this one. That's not really what I want, but this one seems fine. The start of classes ended the relaxed 3 days of summer. It didn't take long for you to get back into the swing of the school year routine. Schedules and homework became the new normal. Derek wasn't around nearly as much. With school and after-school activities, there weren't many options for him to take the trip out to your neighborhood. Sometimes you'd hear that he was at a training camp or something like that, but you weren't always sure what he was up to. You kind of lost contact as I went on. But you kept in touch over the phone the best you could. I say we go with like the keeping in contact the best we could, because I'm very clingy. People, it's really hard to get rid of me. The Jeremy kid. Jeremy. I give up. So. Whatever just happened, didn't like that while I was giving up, but okay. Did disappear after the summer, and no one else heard from him again. Where he went or what he might be up to was a mystery. More summers came and went like the waves on the shore, coming in and out. In your second year of high school, someone new started to visit Sunset Bird. A sunny girl named Terry Brooke. She was a friend of Cove. She was a friend Cove made due to them both being ocean obsessed. Terry was more than glad to befriend you too. Someone close to Cove had to be a good companion. Oh, had to be good company. She felt. You were pleased to get along with her as well. Terry was tight with another girl who you had known distantly from school for a long time. Miranda Akret? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Names are very hard. You saw more and more of her as time went on, thanks to Terry and Miranda's own outreach. After a while, all of you developed a real friendship together. That sounds so sweet. As for your home life, the Hopes all had developments. Changing laws and public perspection countrywide made it possible for your moms to openly wear their wedding rings without questions. Though they had a wedding years ago, it was only recently that the union was officially recognized everywhere in the US. That was a good day, to say at least. Elizabeth came into her own and stopped being quite as irritable. She'd no longer worry about perceived childishness as she grew up for real. She didn't even mind being called Lizzie again, although most people used Liz. She eventually graduated high school and moved out to attend college in another state. It was a lot for you to adjust to your older sister being gone. Liz never let you forget her role in your life, though, and kept in touch. Cove's relationships with his family improved over the years. Kiara visited several times after the summer, and the things became easier between the two. He was also closer with his dad. He was also closer with his dad than ever before. He knew they'd talk more, and that helped prevent a lot of friction before it could start. And Cove only continued to open up to his parents and the rest of the world. He was so bright, he shone. He would willingly join conversations, make jokes, and put in effort not to use overly blunt phrasing. Cove had shifted from preferring athletic to becoming more seriously studious as his schooling went on. Ooh, I got an achievement. Hold up. I got instantly distracted. Start playing step 3. Using the crush or love interest level. Matured affection. Things had shifted between you and Cove. You had been friends for years, but the closer you became, the more you felt for him. You didn't view him as a purely platonic, purely platonic way anymore. Okay. It was strange to look back on it all. The future faded into your present, and then it was simply the past. Even the most fundamental parts of your life couldn't last forever. You felt that the most pointedly the day you inevitably graduated high school. Oh, okay. Pointedly. I have never seen that word before. It was over, and you would not be going back ever again. From now on, what came next was your choice. You would be directing your own life. That was where you were currently. The summer after school had ended. The first summer of true freedom. Aren't we going to go to like university or something? What used to be reprieve from the typical was now going to be your first step into adulthood. One fine summer morning, you took in what had become a very special scene, the whole family having a meal together. Oh. Your big sister Liz still hadn't lived at home full time for a couple of years. But she arrived last week to spend the season here, since it was an off semester for her. She wanted to make sure she was in town because you had now also graduated high school. So who knew how much rarer these moments would become in the future? That's sweet. He was watched on as Liz laughed good-naturedly over a comment Mom made. Her Elizabeth-only mindset had only been a phase. Nearly any nickname was welcomed at this point in her life. Of course it was a phase. Strangely, even though she moved away, you lately felt closer to her than you had in a long time. Honestly, from what I noticed over the last 2 steps, it's not a strange thing. You idly scoped up more of your breakfast and chewed absentmindedly. You are a vegetarian, you are a vegan, you're what? I know these and I know this. What are the middle two? Hold up. Pescatarian? Meaning a person who does not eat meat but does eat fish. Okay, I knew that was a thing. Bolotarian. Someone who eats poultry but not red meat or pork products. Okay, well, I'm a picky eater. In the meal, you had reflected that. Your moms were happy to make food that fit your needs, along with dishes for themselves that didn't, though you often made your own food nowadays. But it wasn't only you who had a diet that excluded certain things, as Liz had been a vegetarian for a while. Oh, they've grown old. This is weird. I'm not used to seeing them old. Like, it makes sense, but it's weird seeing characters grow up. Conversation had gone on idly, without you fully taking in the words, until your ears were peaked when Ma started on a bit of town gossip. Uh-huh. And so that's how I heard the news. What news? Alright, now stop burying the lady and tell us, what is this so-called news? Ma giggled as she cast a look across the table, satisfied that she had everyone's attention. Well, it turns out the Downells won't be renting out a condo up the street as per Sunbird's tradition. For the first time, it must be nearly 2 decades. Dang! Her choruses of gasps and shocked expressions were heard all around. After initial shock, your eyebrows pinched. Ma may consider them by name, but you and Liz always viewed them exclusively as the mean old couple who would yell at anyone under 25 who crossed their paths. I know that one! We encountered them before, didn't we? Or we at least heard about them before. Your ma continued on with the story, spreading strawberry jam over a piece of toast as she did so. They decided not to take big trips anymore. Friends and family will be visiting them at their home. That's nice for them then. Have a good summer. mean grandparents with no grandkids away from us. That's a relief. It's kind of sad they can't travel anymore. I hope they're still okay, even if they are mean. My thoughts exactly, Liz. Finally, they can be some. You didn't have anything to comment on that development. It's kind of sad they can't travel anymore. They had a very full life. It's not to sneeze at. And you be nice, Liz. You don't want to end up like them, do you? You and your sister cracked smiles at the joke.
Well?
At least they won't be here to yell at my children anymore. I mean... Isn't that like... We're old enough by now not to be yelled at anymore, right?
Lonnie.
Lonnie. And that blunt comment got laughter from all three of you. Engrossed in conversation once more, you continued to chat with your family until the meal was over. Third time's a charm. Okay, interesting. As it went, once the food was eaten, the cleanup had to be done. They stuck the role of washing the dishes and passed them to you for drying and putting away. You had a set of cups in front of you that needed to go on the top shelf of the cabinet. Yeah, I am very tall. Pretty safe for you, you were tall. You had the stretch, but it was doable. You were average height. It was a struggle to get up to them without a stepping stool. You were short. A stepping stool was mandatory. You were very short. I think for like, at least where I live, I'm like average height. It was simply your lot in life. You always hovered around the expected height for your age. That's actually a lie. I was like really tall for a certain amount of time and then I just stopped growing probably before I should have, and I was like suddenly everyone was catching up. I don't think much. I don't think much about my height. Why should I? That was a struggle for you because you remember how you used to feel so content about it when you... Wait, did I read it wrong? You didn't think about it much. Yeah, no. Why is it giving me this one, huh? This sounds negative. Okay, it's like you didn't think much about it, a negative thing? This shook you out of your internal muzzing by starting up an impromptu conversation. She seemed to be voicing the thoughts that had been buzzing around in her own head. I have to say, going back for another semester this fall is pretty intimidating. You'd think, after the first year or two, I have a handle on things, but no. You stole a glance at her, still placing cups in the proper place. I guess it's only fair. My first round was pretty general classes, and year one was my architect major, was the basic. Architect major was the okay. How does American school system work again? I have no clue what was going on there. Now it feels serious. I have to actually know some things. Oh, that's relatable. I went out of high school like, oh yeah, no, I know things. I went into my the school I'm at now and I went like, I know absolutely nothing. Oh god. The laugh she gave was flippantly airy. Was airy, but it was the way she scrubbed at the plate. Held more force than necessary. And now you can handle it. I think it's really cool you want to be an architect. It does sound hard. You simply shrugged. You were merely listened to her venting. It's cool she wants to be an architect. Don't be too impressed yet. Wait to see if it actually happens. But thanks. Your older sister, Mouse, quirked into a smile. It'll be fine, one way or another.
Oh.
Oh, But I'm not trying to scare you away from college, if that's even your plan. What is going on with that, anyway? You had a solid plan set for a long time. You came to a firm conclusion recently. You kind of had a general idea. You have absolutely no idea. You didn't even let yourself think about it. It was too much. A general idea. You answered the question as much as you were able and willing to. Liz's smile grew more assuring as you did. You made it through 12 years of full-time education already. You've got plenty going for you. Sometimes it still felt hard to believe your public schooling experience was over. In the end, you had got at top of your class. Oh, I did not have high marks. I failed one of my classes. Average, I guess. Yeah, I was glad it was truly behind me. You passed it. It was fine. And now you could do whatever you want with your time. Liz picked up on the silence her question ended up creating. She decided it was time to make a closing statement on the topic.
You're a good kid.
You're a good kid, True. Do what's best for you. And we will be here to back it up. Yay. Thanks, Liz. At that, Liz happily passed the final dish your way. She waved a soapy-soaked hand as a farewell and moved on to her next task of the cleanup job. Which was, okay, just not gonna tell me. Interesting. You refocused on getting the last pieces put back where they belong. You eventually moved on to the next chore, but it was interrupted by the sound of your cell phone. Oh, I finally got a cell phone! Was the default ringtone. Nobody said. I do not. Oh, just vibrate. Yeah, okay, you know what? That's the most, like, realistic one. I cannot stand the noise of, like, notifications and stuff. Like, my phone is silent. I can't even stand the vibrating noise. It's like, no, that thing is just not gonna make noise. If it's an important message, they can break into my house and tell me. I don't care. I'm not gonna put my phone on, like, making noise. Okay, that's a lie. I think the only times I have, like, turned on or turned off the mute and turned on the sound is when I expect, like, an important call, like a doctor's call or something like that. You casually picked it up from the table where you had placed it earlier. The phone was a couple years old at this point, having been a 16th birthday gift from your parents. They decided which model to get, but you could pick the color. It was blue. No, wait, black. Turquoise, pink, purple, blue. So many colors. Oh my god. Let's just go with black. It was just a phone. You didn't get to anything to decorate it. I thought it's special. I don't decorate my phones. The screen lit up as you gave the little device a swipe with one finger. You were informed by caller ID that it was Lee. You weren't surprised, despite having been busier and busier with lives. Oh, despite having busier and busier lives, and not living in the same town, you still had a good relationship with your cousin of the same age. Especially once the miracle of the both of you having your own phones actually happened. She got hers first, though. Tapping at the accept button, you answered her call. A familiar, bubbly voice came through right after.
Hi.
Hi, True. Hiya. I trust I'm not interrupting anything major. Only some cleanup around the house. Oh, then you're welcome for my call. A distraction from that must have been desperately needed. Yes, thank you, my dear cousin. Hey, I love doing chores, you joked. I like cleaning, you protested. But well, it's good to hear from you. Even though she couldn't see it, you shook your head at it. Yes, thank you, my dear cousin.
My pleasure.
It's my pleasure. She giggled, and you could hear the jangling of jewelry she must be wearing. Nothing amazing is happening for me either. I'm bored and felt like chatting. My morning shift ended, so I'm free for the rest of the day. Woohoo! That's good. You're off from your part-time job today. You hadn't started working anywhere yet, so you couldn't relate. Unlike you, Lee had started dipping her toes into the workforce as of late. It made keeping in touch frequently even more complicated, but you both managed. What about you? It's been pretty normal.
Cool.
Cool. That's you, then. So, how's Mr. Cove Holden doing? There was a teasing bend to her tone. She was never willing to let up on what's going on between the two of you. What is going on between the two of us? But the name was incredibly familiar to your ears. Cove, your next-door neighbor, for the past decade at this point. The two of you were close. That was all you could think of. He was your best friend, at least you hadn't admitted you felt more than that just yet. He was an important friend, but you secretly hoped he'd tell you he felt more than that. He was someone you had affection for, but you didn't want to take the relationship further. But he was far more than just someone who lived on the same He was my I can't we can't just go boy. Why do I need to make choices? I mean, it's a game about choices, I understand, but why do I need to make choices? Let's just go with it. The crush, love. Let's not go with boyfriend just yet. Oh my god. This choice feels important. I don't know. On one hand, I'm uncertain if like I can confess later, if that's a thing. I'm uncertain. Because I kind of want to go like the boyfriend route, but on the other hand, if I cannot confess later, I will go and feel sad. I don't want to feel sad. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna accept that I might feel sad, and let's go with the upper one. Special whatever it was. Wait, hold up. What is this option? You vividly remember they expressed feelings for each other. Okay. I want to see everything. It was simply wasn't something you were considering. God was very special to you. You could only dream that it was mutual. You knew you wouldn't be able to tell him that, though. Maybe he would take the plunge. Someday you thought someday you'd know exactly how he really meant to you. And this one, whatever it was. Are you sure? Are you even surviving without the boy being 10 feet away at all times? Or is everything right with the world again and he's back? No, Lee, he isn't here, just like he wasn't here yesterday, or at the last time you asked, or the time before that.
Sorry.
Aw, my bad. Can you blame me? Doesn't it seem like he should have made his grand return already? Plus, I want to visit soon, and he needs to be there too. You could understand where she was coming from. This was certainly outside the norm. For the past couple months, and the last few weeks especially, Cove had been going to his mom's place in Nevada. The two of you still regularly stayed in contact over text and calls, but still. Your mind began to drift back in time to other prior trips he had been taking to visit her. Almost every year he'd have to go away for a while, and then he'd be back. It made you sad and lonely when this happened. You never minded it. It was kind of nice. No, it's not nice to have Rex but made do it. It was just, except you. Your younger self worried about him leaving for good. Oh no. This sounds the bad. You sent him letters the entire time he was away. His mom helped you ship out a care package to him and his mom. That's sweet, but no, it seems a bit... You gave him special treasures to take with him before you left. You kept an eye on his house. What are you gonna do? You kept an eye on his house for him while he wasn't there. From like what? If someone tries to break in, I'm pretty sure one kid is not going to stop them. Let's just give him special treasures. Some were just to borrow, and others were for him to keep forever. He sent you letters while they're in return. Well, that's sweet. That's how it was in the past, but lately he had been trying to see her as much as he could before taking long trips to another state became too impractical to do. His part-time work could become full-time soon, or he could be moving somewhere else for school. Cove hadn't actually been entirely clear what his plans were after graduation. Cove was hesitant to speak on that, even with you. It couldn't be avoided forever, though. You both knew that.
Well?
Maybe we should switch this up to a non-Cove related topic? Sounds like a plan. The rest of the conversation rolled on. Not much longer, though. Lee had to go, and you needed to finish your responsibilities around the house. The both of you exchanged goodbyes. Then you went back to what you'd been working on before the call came in. As you wrapped up the last of your chores, you were approached by Liz, wearing a cheeky smile. I've got Mom's car keys. Wanna get out of this tiny town to do some shopping in a real city? That sounds great.
Good.
Good. I'm driving. That was obvious. You didn't know how to drive. You were glad for that. You still just had a learner's permit. Even though you could drive too, it was her plan. She could do it if she wanted to. It was nice of her to do that. You had a license, but tried to avoid driving when possible. I do not know how to drive. Set me behind the wheel and I will go play bumper cars. That's just a reminder. Don't put me behind the wheel. Go get your wallet and anything else. We're going now. With a nod, you made a quick detour to collect your stuff from your bathroom. You had money saved up from gifts you would receive. Okay, after making sure you both were fully prepared for a long haul to the largest city in the surrounding areas, you buckled into the car. It was a smooth ride there, with light conversation about what shops to stop at, and the radio blasting, of course. Hold up. One moment. I had to cough and I thought let's be nice and just mute my mic for a second. The trip there breezed by, and in what felt like no time you had gone from cruising down the road to cruising through the mall. Liz had her interest to check out and you had yours. Your hobbies and skills were still the ones you developed when you were younger. You had gotten into new things since you'd grown up. I forgot which I did, so let's just go with I like to read manga and fictional novels and comic books. And I'd like to watch movies and people and TV. And games were fun to you. You like to play board game, video game, card game. And you like to hang out with people, not going to the beach. You wrote things, you were into sports like, just out of curiosity, what is it? All of them, watching them. Hold up, let me type it into Google to make sure I'm typing it correctly. I am not typing it correctly. I'm so happy. Oh my god, Google can't even save me. Archery? Okay. Google saved me. Oh, okay, I cannot copy paste. Understood. I need to keep it side by side then. Hold on for a moment. Archery. Okay, I fixed that. And I enjoy music. I listen to it a lot. I don't play an instrument. Spend time on art. I do quite like going to museums and stuff. And it was everything major that came to mind, sure. When turned a corner down a new length of the mall, your eyes catched on a little gift store. Your friends and family had recently given you many presents for graduating high school. You realized you wanted to get a graduation gift yourself to give to Cove. You had a gift of your own ready. Go. I wanna go buy him something. Graduation may have already come and gone, but Cove wasn't really around then anyway. You'd keep an eye out for something good, though you might have something nice for him at home already. I don't know, my mind is telling me that the picture, like, the background is very good, but the picture looks blurry. Maybe it's the pattern. I think the pattern might be messing with my mind. Eventually the mall was explored in full, with every shop of note being checked out. Rather than going home, you decided to walk over to some smaller stores nearby. Liz had many thoughts on the topic.
So?
Honestly, malls are not a bastion of society. Even if smaller stores require extra distance, the brands are so much more... Then your sister abruptly stopped speaking and walking, right in the middle of the path. It was a good thing no one was behind her. She seemed to entirely shut off for a moment. Liz? The attempt to catch her attention was unsuccessful. Something else had all her focus. Before you could puzzle out what might be happening, she began to mumble out of the corner of her mouth. True, don't draw attention, but look. I'm just gonna like spin around and look immediately. What? With a harsh whisper and a subtle jerk of her head, she urged you once more.
Hey!
Look! You followed her gaze, as best as you could, to a large bunch of colorful teens strolling down the same path, okay? You faced back over to your sister, with a confused expression and an unspoken question. What were you supposed to be seeing there? True. Doesn't one of them seem familiar? Oh, now she is completely blurry. She was practically bouncing at this point, so you looked the group over again, and this time you saw what she was seeing. Amongst the collection of strangers was a brown hair, great eyes, and lots of freckles. That's Shiloh, our Shiloh, from when we were kids. Yep, that was definitely him. He's not wearing blue. That's my way of saying I do not recognize him. I can't believe it. He's honestly just there. That's hilarious. That's incredible. Oh, but how do we talk to him? We'd have to pull him away from all those other people, and what if I'm wrong? Your mouth opened to reply, but she cut it off with her own answer to the question. I've got it. I will shout the name Shiloh, and then we can act like that, like it wasn't us. If he responds to that, we will know without a doubt it's him. True. Keep an eye out to see if he looks. That's like the dumbest plan ever. Let's just shout a name and see if someone responds. Like, if I hear someone shouting, I will turn around and look. Because I am just confused why people shout in public. Liz, can't you just try talking to him normally? We're not doing that. It's a terrible plan. Why do we have to be one who watches? Let's try it. Fine. Can we just talk to him normally? Likely, without even hearing what you said, Liz had put her plan into action. I'm not gonna... My parents are gonna be not happy when I scream, so let's just go Shiloh. She loudly projected the word across the way, and then put on an act of casualness, turning her head away from the scene while brushing at the skirt of her dress. In a supremely awkward moment, you could only stand there as attention in the area shifted to the two of you thanks to your sister's shout. Obviously. But of the many startled bystanders, one became alert to your presence. One of them was the boy. From a distance, his large eyes met yours. He looked. But like, multiple people looked. Like I said, that's not saying anything. I'm just so confused. How? Okay, but like, I really do not get like the idea behind it. Like, oh yeah, no, let's just scream his name, and if he turns around at Shiloh, but multiple people looked because someone was screaming, but because the boy turned around, it must be Shiloh? Red grin took over Liz's face. She pushed the rim of her sun hat up and away from her face while swishing back around to greet her old friend directly. Shiloh! Waving, she stepped a bit closer to express her intention to meet without really closing the gap. She wanted him to come to her. We presumed to be Shiloh looked surprised at the call out. He stole a quick glance at the crowd he was with and hesitantly glanced back your way. He was trying to double-check something. Liz remained steadfast with her grace trained on him, and ultimately he broke away from the rest of them. After a light-footed jog across the brick path, the young man pleasantly presented himself in front of Liz and you.
Hi.
Hi, I like your hat. He doesn't recognize us, does he? Just that simple greetings had Liz giggling.
Hey.
Hello. I'm not sure if you remember this, but I'm Lizzie, and it's true. We were all friends when we were little kids. His already wide eyes grew even larger, their gaze darting between you and Lizzie. His previous chirp demur faded into something delicate. I'm really sorry, but I think you have the wrong person. You could tell. Not being instantly recognized was going to make this exchange more challenge. Still, Liz was undeterred. Is that Shiloh? Hold up. I'm gonna search up a picture of him, okay? Our live Shiloh. Okay, gotta... I mean, it's kind of like a more mature version of the face shape and the same eye color and stuff and the freckles, so... I mean, yeah, it could be. I don't know, though. I feel like it could just be someone completely different, and I'm feeling second-hand embarrassment, I guess. I don't know. Hold up. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting very distracted. I'm closing this before I get too distracted. It was a long time ago. You were really young. I get why you feel like that. However, I'm positive I'm right. You're exactly the same. That face, the freckles, how you try to phrase things. You're even still wearing a hat. Instinctively, he looked up at his head were with creased brows, not making the connection on why the hat meant something to her. I feel attacked for that. It's like I had multiple times people call me out for like, oh, I like your shirt or something like that, and I'm just looking down at like, what am I wearing? Oh yeah, this shirt, thanks.
Okay.
We know each other, okay? An uneasy smile settles on him as the silence followed Liz's speech. He was picking his next words carefully, and then the quiet was obliterated by new force bursting into conversation. Shiloh, what are you doing? The rest of the group already left. A field trip is not a vacation. We are on a schedule. Startled, your head snapped towards the path. A distinctly unhappy individual with piercing magenta eyes, dark brown skin, and a sharp jaw stormed your way. He carried a cloud of authority with him, despite looking like he wasn't even 18 yet. Sorry, I didn't mean to ditch. Shiloh, whose name was now officially confirmed, gestured with a hand to add the explanation of his absence as the stranger watched impatiently. They thought they recognized me as someone they knew, but it was a tiny misunderstanding. It's not. If your name is Shiloh, it's a game. If your name is Shiloh, you are Shiloh. The question mark is gone. You're now Shiloh. Liz theoretically, as well as literally, put her foot down at that, stomping in frustration at getting more childish the longer she was around her childhood companion.
Come on.
We do know you. Shiloh Mary shrunk in on himself. The tone he spoke was pained. Sorry. He honestly couldn't tell if he was apologizing for the upset feelings of your sister or the playable dissatisfaction of his new acquaintance. That in itself was very Shiloh-like. Oh, you know him? Is that it? The stranger spoke in a dismissively scoffing tone, as if the words sounded so absurd to him, it was almost amusing. Almost. But the sternness of his demur quickly reinstated itself. Well, do you know me? I will tell you. I'm someone who has been forced against his will to be aware of what's going on in Shiloh's ridiculous personal life for a year. If the two of you had any importance in his general day-to-day existence, it would have come up by now. Don't bother trying to exaggerate any trifle connection you might have. It's not good enough. He is with us, and you will survive without him. Now stop loitering in the road, it's rude.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? We're being rude? The high-strung ranting got an audible gasp from Shiloh, who finally started to speak up again in defense. Nate, that's really mean. It's also true. We're leaving. With that declaration, the unofficial introduced Nate spun on his heels and walked speedily towards where the group went, completely confident that Shiloh would follow behind. People can sure have bad attitudes, huh? Why can't they just try to get along? It's not hard, don't worry though. I bet you won't have to deal with him again. And I'm sorry, I can't stay to talk to you, but I hope you have a really nice life.
Bye.
Bye! And that was it. His final parting words given. Shiloh left the two of you behind to catch up with his own life that he had to go live. Liz watched his exits, stunned, only to frown when it hit her that he was really gone, as quickly as he had appeared. It happened so fast. You hadn't even be able to get a word in. Indeed, we were just quiet in time. We were just standing there like, uh-huh. She sighed, all the energy she built up releasing in that breath. Could have told him his last name was Fields, his birthday, October 3rd. 30th, whatever. That would have proven it, but no. I'm sorry, Liz. Whoa, Shelley grew up to be dumb. Feeling, whoever Nate is, he sucks. What damn. What damn. But no other words that would just unfold it. Do you want to go catch up with him? Liz merely shook her head, brushing off childish thoughts. I think we can leave it here, thanks. He's in the middle of a high school field trip, and it was already enough being able to see him. There's something reassuring about witnessing firsthand that he's still out there, enjoying his own part of the world. Though, it could, if given the chance, I could definitely have a few words with him about the company he's got. Isn't that just like you were before? She laughed, but you could tell there wasn't much humor in it. She was mad at the guy, even if she was happy to let Shiloh go. Maybe they're only with each other because of the trip. It's not usual how things are.
Right?
True. We can only hope the same for him as he did for us. Have a nice life, Shiloh. Have a good life. Good luck out there, you will need it. Les smiled at you. It had the self-confidence you knew so well for her. Come on, kid, let's finish our own trip. Yeah. No matter how either of you really felt about the occurrence, it was something you simply had to accept. People you know just disappear and reappear in the most unexpected ways. The two of you enjoyed the what remained of your outing until it was time to return home. By the time you arrived back, the sun was already beginning to set. You arched your way. Hold up. You arched your back as you stretched your arms towards the ceiling. But it had been a good day. It had enough activity to cover an entire week. I just had to yawn because I saw the word yawn. Let's try to hide a yawn behind her hand. You weren't the only one feeling worn out. I'll be heading up to your room, I mean the guest room, since mine stopped being available as soon as I was out of the door. Her tone was light. She had quite a lot to say on the subject when you'd first taken over her bigger room after she left for college, but there have been many trips back home for her since then. The room hadn't been hers for years. It was more of a running joke now, that she continued to bring the topic up to this day. Let it go, Liz. I didn't see your name on it. Thanks, Liz. It's a really nice room. Thank you for being so gracious about giving it up. I just want to follow my big sister's shoes. I had no choice. It's just rude. I mean, I guess you had no choice, but like, dang. A small laugh was shared between you and your older sister. You better believe I will be back in the guest room when you've got your own place, and we'll be both in town for a visit. We could take turns. You will have Thanksgiving, I will get Christmas. What a reasonable and mature suggestion. I will think about accepting it. She flushed her familiar grin, and you couldn't help but feel glad she was her background, even if it was temporary. With that, she plopped off to the spare room. You were ready to go to the same. Moving into a new space was your first opportunity to decorate from scratch. I can design my room! How fun! Okay, purple, yellow, blue, green, purple, yellow, green, yellow, green. I'm making a choice. Blue and purple is not really my style. Purple is too not me, and blue feels too empty. So it's gonna be between green and yellow. I like yellow, the little, a bit more extras, 1 and 2. Yeah, let's just put that there, I guess. Left, right. Oh, we can, huh? Is that also a thing here? No, okay. That confused me. Oh, that's adorable. Let's go with the little cactus and the books. Left. Since we already have this, like, board, let's just go with, like, photos and stuff. And sea animals. Oh, or lights. I like lights more, but, like, I actually have, like, lights around my room, and it's really fun, so I'm gonna go with that. Okay, a volleyball or a telescope. Neither, actually, but it's quite cool. Done. Wait, hold up. Okay, I know I just choose everything, but I want to see if things change. Okay, no, it stays the same, but you... Oh. Oh, that's cool. You can, like... So basically, it stays the same, but you can choose... Okay, no, this one is completely different, basically. Well, except by the window, but, like, this is completely different. And this is also completely different. I am getting very distracted. I'm not sorry, to be honest. I was gonna say I'm sorry, but I'm not. You basically get every option in the blue room. I do kind of like that. No, I've chosen. We're not gonna change everything up right now. Hold up. Yeah, no, we're keeping this. I'm fine with that. You were really satisfied with the feeling, with the feel of your tiny part of the world. As your thoughts drifted, you tried to bite down another yawn. No, don't make me yawn again. It was no good. Your bed was now lodged in your mind, and all you could think about was collapsing on it. Don't make me sleepy, please, game. You trudged up the stairs to your room. Stepping inside, you closed the door behind you, blocking the rest of the house. When you turned back around, you realized you were not alone there. Comfortably perched on the windowsill was someone very familiar to you. Did he break into my room again? Oh, he looks cute. Cove Holden. But did he? Why did he break into my house again? What the? Surprise? Yeah, you could say that again. How long have you been waiting for me in my house? His tone was easy and relaxed. It certainly was a surprise. You hadn't expected him to be within the state. Never mind your own house. He hadn't answered how he had suddenly just appeared back in Sunset Bird. I didn't even question that. I just screamed at him. Though, to be fair, you had been so astounded there hadn't been much of an opportunity to chat with you. Thankfully, Cove was only waiting for a good moment to start and began to explain.
So...
I got in about 50 minutes ago, no one was home, so I figured I'd come in the usual way. You broke into my window. Is that your usual way? Or the window? Yeah, oh my god. When the window becomes your usual way, maybe you need to do like some self-reflecting. I feel like that would be a good thing to do. That might just be me, though. Okay. A small smile had formed on his face. Yeah, no, okay, whatever. You were still staring at him, unable to blink in case he disappeared. You could still barely believe that he was really there, barely feet away from you. I left my bags in your backyard. I hope that's alright. That was when you truly understood. Cove had come straight to you. Upon getting back to town, you were his first port of call. taking precedence above all else. That's sweet. Even though you hadn't been in when he called, Cove had entrusted that he'd see you at the earliest opportunity rather than allowing his plans to change. You laughed, irrepressible. You shook your head at this end text. You stayed frozen, the shock yet to melt away. You walked over to join him. I'm running to him, and I'm probably... I feel like in real life, I would run but trip and just fall face first on the floor. Every second away from him was a moment to... Okay, that's really cheesy. Hold up, I didn't mean it to make it that cheesy. I'm just going with what I would probably do in that situation. As you approached, Cove quickly hopped from the windowsill to meet you. It's Gracie, I'm glad you're here. I missed you. Trouble's back in town. I believe my eyes. It's the most amazing man in the world. Oh, talk about cheesy. I want to know his reaction, but we're gonna go with, I missed you, but I want to see the reaction. Oh. He jumped into his arms. Let's just tackle him to the ground. Okay, yeah, no. I'm so glad you're here, and jump into his arms. You reached out towards him in motion, your intentions clear. Cove opened up his stance in preparation, his face already getting red. Once close enough, you leaped up into his chest and wrapped your arms around his neck. With a small stumble back, he caught you and held on by tucking his arms over your lower back. I would probably just fall over. I know I would fall over, to be honest. Taking your shoulder for a pillow, he laid his cheeks against you. I missed you. I missed you too! I just said that. Even if he hadn't said it outright. You would have gotten the message from his body language. Cove was grinning wildly, his raised cheeks burying his eyes. Oh, okay. Which gleamed like hidden gems. But he looked at you as if you were the most exciting treasure of all. How was the trip? Yeah, I had a great time. Cove told you about how his trip back had gone. His mom was doing really well, she had a project in works that she was thrilled about. As a result, Cove was going to be sticking around in Sunset Bird for the time being. Things were settled, as much as they could ever be. With Cove back once more, you felt at ease. Cove stretched his arms out over his head, his eyes on the window, and the world beyond. The sun had set while you'd been busy reuniting.
Well,
I should probably get my stuff and see Dad. He glanced over to you with a familiar, expectant look. Wanna come with me? You know I do. No, but I walk downstairs. Sure, I could go. Yeah, I'm just gonna join him. Why not?
cool.
Cool. Cove began to head to your bedroom door. You insisted on a pig. No, we're just gonna follow him. Not a piggyback ride. Especially not down his stairs. That sounds dangerous. I'm assuming we're still living. Yeah, we're still upstairs. Do you guess you went down to the ground floor of your house? Yep, no, my question got answered real quick. In all the excitement of Cove's return, you hadn't even remembered the gift you prepared for when he got back. It would be best to give it to him now, before he left your house. Can you wait here for a little while? I got something for you. Cove's eyes widened as he tried to conceal a smile. He toyed with the color of his top.
Really?
Really? I mean, you didn't have to do that. He nodded, with some eagerness, trying to imagine how he'd react when he actually saw it. What is it? I made something myself, obviously. It was the orange shell he'd been entranced with since you were kids. That's so sweet. Question is, what can we buy him? A dolphin-shaped balloon? Oh, these are all real for you to model. Oh my god. You quickly went up to your room to collect the shell, knowing exactly where to find it. It had been housed in the same box since you were little kids. After all, taking great care, you extracted it from the case. Though it had been a long time since you'd taken it out, the grooves were as familiar to your fingertips as the opening line of your favorite song was to your ears. Gove had admired the shell ever since he first saw it, declaring it to be the best of all your treasures. Despite that, he never accepted your offers to take it. You would hope that might change tonight. You closed your hand around the shell, not wanting Cove to see it until you were ready, and headed downstairs. When you were back in front of Cove, you cautiously lifted your arm up. You looked on curiously as you unfurled your fingers to show him the gift. I know you don't want to take it from me, but what I want is for you to have it. Cove stared down at the familiar shell nestled in your palm. His mouth parted, though no words came out. He drew his eyes to meet yours, silently, and found the answer to whatever question he couldn't speak. He put his hand over yours and broke the silence. Okay. It was quiet, as a whisper. His fingers were as gentle as his words, brushing against your palm as he took the shell from your grasp. He cradled it carefully against his chest and smiled at you, his eyes bright. I will keep it forever. And then he breaks it instantly, no. Cove reverently laid the gift safely on the counter, but he didn't turn back to face you once he ensured it was secure. Though his face was angled away from you, you caught his eyelashes, fluttering as if batting away tears. His throat popped as he swallowed bubbling emotions. Aww! You knew that Cove could be sentimental. The gift and all the memories and feelings tied up in it seemed to have taken a toll on him. When he began to snivel, you felt the need to reach out. Cove, I can't. You just threw. I don't know what to do. He forcefully scrubbed at his eyes, like he was trying to push the tears that threatened to spill back in. Oh, Cove, it's okay. Do you need to cry? No. Nevertheless, tears had begun to spill down his cheeks. Even when he wiped them away, more took their place. Thank you. His voice quavered as he spoke. Cove scooped you into a hug, pressing you so tightly against his chest that your breath escaped in a short squeak. He buried his face against your neck, his shed tears damp on your skin. You hugged him back. You're welcome, don't worry about it. You're such a crybaby. Cove let out a steady breath. It was far removed from the shaky gasp that had accompanied his snivels. The tears had dried. His eyes... Hi! Rainbow FNAF... Oh, FNAF. FNAF is a great game. Sorry, I got distracted by the name. His eyes were a little red, but open and at peace once again. He smiled, fully recovered from the emotion that had overcome him. You're really seriously too nice to me.
Rainbow FNAF _fan 18 _chroma is now following.
Thanks for the follow. I find it very funny how the bot spelled FNAF. He smiled back. I don't think there's such a thing as too nice when it comes to you. Cove brushed his hands against the pale ghost of a scar on his arm. He was at loss of words on what to do now. The clock ticked away, counting the seconds of silence. Once you had a chance to settle your thoughts, you figured you'd tell Cove the intriguing news. I meant to tell you earlier. I saw Shiloh today.
Huh?
Shiloh? Cove repeated the name, his expression blank. From when we were kids? Cove pounded for a moment, then snapped his fingers. Oh, he was the freckly boy from that first summer, right? The one who moved? I met a guy named Shiloh. He looked just like Shiloh, we knew, plus however many years. But he didn't remember me and just left. Oof. Cove frowned. That's, I don't know, too bad I missed it, though you knew him better than I did. How are you? I am doing fine. How are you doing? I'm honestly just enjoying the game at this moment. My cousin recommended it to me, and I'm really enjoying the story so far. Well, it's better because, wait, how many hours do I have? Like 15 hours in this game already. So it's better that I enjoy the game. Oh, just about to start playing it. Have you played it before? Because I'm quite far into the game, and this will probably give you spoilers. Which, kind of logical, because it's a story game, so yeah. I do recommend the game, though. I hope you enjoy playing it too. Personally, I enjoy quite a bit about the story, and I'm planning on playing it again, like the entire way through, but then with the DLCs. So I will get even more playing time. But I think 40 out of this game says otherwise for me. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, fair enough. That's a lot of hours. Oh, that's a lot of... I mean, honestly, I get it. I've grown really attached to this game, and I was like, I'm already planning to play it again on stream, but this time with the DLCs and, like, allowing myself to make different choices than I do now. Because at the start of this playthrough, I decided that I would go to, like, every relationship level. Like, building it up. So I started at, like, indifference, then whatever, fond, I think, and I'm now at level crush. But it's quite fun. My cousin, who recommended this game to me, has also had the DLC, so she was like, please buy them, I want to see you play more. Because apparently it's funny when I play, because I'm very bad at making decisions. That was definitely true. Not only had Cove known Shiloh for a shorter period of time, but he and Shiloh had never quite gotten along. Not that they were enemies either, just kids who were only ever together because of other people they both knew. I wonder what Shiloh's up to these days. I don't have any idea. He didn't say much. Baxter? Hold on, I feel like I know that name, but I do not know that game, because he first appeared in step 3. I know, I still need to meet the character. There's a different person that I'm thinking of with, I guess, a similar name, but yeah. Oh yeah, it sounds great. There are so many DLCs, to be honest. Oh well. That was everything you had on the news item. So you moved on to the next big update. Also, you know the mean old neighbors? The ones who would always yell at us? He cringed. Recalling those particular memories of back in the days was not pleasant, even for someone as nostalgic as him. Yeah. They're not coming. They didn't rent a condo this summer. Cove's jaws dropped. You didn't blame him. The elderly couple had been an institution as far back as you could remember, long predating Cove's arrival. Even now, as a teenager, you found your neck pricking as you walked by their condo, half expecting a scolding for breathing the wrong way in the vicinity of their vacation home. Oh, that's probably where the Baxter comes in, isn't it? He's gonna rent the condo for the summer, or not? That seems like the logical way of thinking. Now I know there's gonna be a new character introduced. It was strange to think of that coming to an end. Whoa. Cove blinked, clearly struggling with the idea the same way you had. I didn't see that coming. People being gone, people coming back. It feels like I've missed a lot. It had been a busy summer already. Well, you haven't missed the fireflies. They haven't shown up yet. That's step 3 though. I am in step 3? No, wait, it's step 2. Which step am I? Hold up. I got an achievement about it. Yeah, start playing step 3 using Crush, your love interest. Oh yeah, step 2. Wait, Baxter, my Google just told me it was step 3. Which one is it? Because this is most definitely, this is like the start of step 3. I am now just confused. Well, that's something, and we better not get left behind. There is still stuff to do. I've confused myself now. Glad we're both confused. It's a shared experience now. And now I'm not feeling so alone. You nodded. The two of you headed out and traced the most familiar path you've ever walked, the trip across the road to Cove's house. It seemed that no sooner had the night begun than it was already at an end, and the dawn of a new day was soon upon you. The next morning your belly was full of breakfast, and you were in a pleasant mood. You hoped the rest of the day followed suit. Later you were meeting up with your friends, Cove, Miranda, and Terry, to go into town. It was all on short notice, but that was because everyone was just so excited that Cove was finally back home. Having a nice daydream? You blinked, pushing all your thoughts away and returning to reality. Your mom was watching you with a teasing smile.
Alright.
So, what's on the agenda today? I'm meeting up with some people. Well, I hope you and your friends have fun. Don't get into too much trouble. She winked at you. You both knew both of your moms wanted you to enjoy every bit of the summer before all the big changes started. I will try.
That'd be great.
But before you go gallivanting around the town, could you bring the mail in? I'm finishing up putting the dishes away over here. Alright. Thanks very much. As soon as you were outside your front door, you couldn't help but see Cove and his dad standing out in the road. Around in the road. Wait, what? Okay, they noticed you too.
Hey.
Hey there, True. Hi, good time. You should come join us. There's so many options. Hug. I love hugging people. Following your lead, Cove hugged you back, and he held on for a few more seconds longer if you let go. His eyes shone brightly at you when you did part, sending your heart aflutter. And then as Cove's cheeks flushed, he couldn't quite meet your grace. He didn't speak, but you felt that if he did, he would be tripping over his own tongue. You noticed Mr. Holden was taking the scene of you and Cove with a self-satisfied smile. Why do I have the feeling the parents are like pushing the two together at the moment? Well, probably also before the moment, but like they're just pushing them together. Or at least hoping they end up together. Cove followed your line of sight and shot his dad an unimpressed look. For a moment, Mr. Holden seemed like he had a thought dancing on the tip of his tongue, but he decided to keep it to himself. So, what are you up to today? As far as I know, nothing much. Me and Cove are meeting some friends in town later. Sounds like a plan to me. Oh, please, game, stop yawning. You're making me tired. Yawning, Mr. Holden stretched his arms over his head. My boy and I have just been waiting around to see what the new neighbors are like. That's why you're standing in the road? I'm sorry, but if I see someone just staring at, like, the place I will be staying for like the summer, I would be creeped out. That's not a good first impression. Not that Ghost Dad is like the master of good first impressions, but like... Yeah, no, to be honest, handing money to a child to befriend your son is more scary, more creepy than like just staring at someone moving in. It was definitely his idea. I don't know how you're not interested in this. It's big news. Besides, it'd only be polite to read to new folks in town. Maybe the single dad with a son? You've been here too long if seeing a new person rent a condo is what you considered exciting development. Yes, I'm dying to see newcomers. I don't want to meet them. Well, anyone has to be better than the last tenants.
I don't know.
I don't know. That house would be cursed. And we would be getting ones that were progressively worse. How can... Like, okay, the first thing my mind jumps to that's worse than old people screaming at kids for no reason at all is either like a drug den or a murderer or something else criminal. Like, screaming at people for no reason is like one of the worst things in my mind. Like, above actual crimes. He cracked a cheeky grin at his own joke. You could tell Mr. Holden was looking at the empty house, thinking about the nightmare that was the last tenants. He chuckled, turning to Cove. Well, if they didn't like kids, it makes sense. Yeah, okay, but here's the thing. I know a lot of people who don't like kids. But they, like, still treat the kids okay. Like, just screaming at them for walking past your house or something like that seems overkill, you know? Like, you can not like something or someone, but still be respectful. For instance, there are certain situations where I don't like children either. For instance, if they're really loud in a small space, I get overstimulated. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna scream at the kids to like shut them up. I'm just gonna move myself away from them. But that would be horrible. Knock on wood. Mr. Holden took one more glance at the currently vacant building and sighed dramatically. When he turned back to you and Cove, his whole body seemed deflated. Yeah, okay. Good to know we agree. Like, I have lots of friends who, like, don't like kids. Like, we're all adults at this point, and they don't like little kids. And they might joke about not liking them, but at least they're respectful to kids. But, yeah. I get not liking kids. There's enough about kids to not like, but... some people are just mean to be mean and use any excuse, to be honest. Also, first, what do you want to be called? And second off, what are your pronouns? And third, if you want to share, how did you find my Twitch channel? Purely out of curiosity. Well, the name and pronouns are more like, so I know how to refer to you. And that's easy for me. And the third one is out of curiosity. Mr. Holden took one more glance at the current vacant building. I already read that one. Hold up. My bad. Normally I click before I start speaking. There's no sign of them, and I still need to head off to work soon. Cove gave his dad a few reassuring pats on the back. Okay, I promise to keep an eye out. I can text you if anything happens. Really?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, only until I have to meet up with Terry and Miranda. Would that still work? With a wide grin breaking out on his face, Mr. Holden absolutely thrilled to have his nosiness enabled. That worked! He moved to firmly place both hands on Cove's shoulder, fixing his child with a firm stare. Son, you are my true ally in this world. Mr. Holden stood up straighter, letting Cove go. He looked reinvigorated. Okay, with that settled, I will go make some money. That's always been the one thing I do best. What was his job? Do we even know what kind of job he has? Mr. Holden headed off to the garage with a big wave goodbye. Cove smiled the whole time. You both watched his dad leave. You really liked Mr. Holden. Mr. Holden was one of your favorite people. Bother, mixed feelings. He's okay. You had for a long time. As soon as he was out of your sight, Cove sighed lightly. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just not looking forward to waiting. Guess I will be hanging around the street for a while. Good luck. See you later, bye. I will stick around to see the new neighbor. I can wait with you. Why don't I stay to see the new neighbor and keep you company? Curiosity about the new tenant was getting the better of you, and you figured that waiting wouldn't be too much longer, and besides, you couldn't just leave Cove. I mean, we could totally just leave Cove, but whatever. Really? Of course, I like keeping you company, remember? He stared at you a moment, smiling softly and thinking about his response. Oops.
Me too.
I like that too. Cove put his hands on your shoulder, gripping you solidly, but not enough to hurt. His eyes fixated on just you. He was serious. True, you are my true ally in this role. Oh my god! I know last step I regretted naming my character True because it was very chaotic. Like reading the name. But this makes it worth it. This is great. Oh my god. Suddenly there are a lot of messages about school. I don't want to think about school. Go away. That got a fair amount of chuckles from you. He grinned, the stoicism fading into amusement.
Thank you.
You're always good to me. You're lucky to have me. It's no problem. I can't help myself. You laughed, you shook your head, you simply shrugged. You're so lucky. Everyone is lucky to have me. Teasingly, Cove raised an eyebrow. You're the most lucky guy in all of Sunset Bird. Luckiest. For a moment, you weren't sure if Cove was laughing at your declaration or that you momentarily forgot the word luckiest. Either way, you didn't mind. My friends, they found you ditching my surfing for this game. Okay, nice. Good to know. Hope you enjoy the stream, even if I'm reading a bit chaotically. The smile on his face reached his eyes, and it made you feel electric. And then he let you go. Cove stepped over to his front porch steps, lazily taking a seat and leaning back on his arms. Our watch begins. Nodding in agreement, you joined Cove on the front porch steps. You both sat there in comfortable familiarity as you settled in for the waiting game on a new tenants. The neighborhood was quiet, and you sighed contentedly, closing your eyes and feeling the light breeze. Am I gonna fall asleep on these stairs? Eventually, you both perked at the sound of a car. A taxi followed the noise, turning onto your street. I did not fall asleep, okay. Cove's eyebrows raised at the sight, and he sat up straight on the stoop.
Oh?
This has to be them, right? Yeah, gotta be. Now that they were here, you couldn't help but feel just a bit curious. You wondered what kind of person would be living in the neighborhood for the summer. The taxi pulled to a stop as you expected, in front of your now empty condo. Oh, the now empty condo. It was on the same side of the street as your house, a few buildings further up. Without getting to his feet, Cove tried leaning and tilting his head to get a view of the passenger door as it opened. The single occupant exited the cab. Huh? You could feel what Cove was in that moment. After the last renters, this new visitor was definitely not exactly what you expected. It was a young man, had to be close to your own age. He was dressed fully in eclectic. What does that even mean? Eclectic meaning. Ideas style from taste of broad range of sources, denoting or because depriving ideal style or taste from a broad different range of sources. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, what an annoying word. Black, white, and grey outfit, with his side swooping hair matched the scheme. Oh my god, those are eyes. I do not know how I feel about this t-shirt. I don't think I like the eyes. The only other pop of color was from something that couldn't easily be... Ooh, I do like the rings though. Sorry. That couldn't easily be fashioned into submission. A pair of dark brown eyes, which you caught when he looked over at his audience. Hello, folks. Who might you be? Were the neighbors? The smile, already prominent on his face, curled further. It was Cookie, but you didn't get the impression it was something adverse. Yeah, Baxter! I told you we were playing step 3 and that he showed up in step 3. I am barely, almost never correct, but I was correct now. Hallelujah. Young Cove shared a familiar look with one another, bewildered even further. The color-coordinated man left it there. However, with a firm click, he shut the door of his ride. Then he turned his back to you to retrieve a large, unsurprisingly black suitcase out of the trunk. Continuing on with his own business, he strolled forward and lightly tapped on the driver's side of the window with his knuckle, asking for them to roll down. When it opened, he leaned down and rested his arm on the edge. You assumed he was thanking the driver for getting him there, considering he slipped them a tip during the brief chat. They shook hands and he pushed himself up and away from the taxi with both arms, giving the driver room to leave. The taxi pulled away, rolling carefully down the road and out of sight. Around the corner, the new renter had officially arrived. Honestly, I could do without the eyes on the t-shirt, but I do like the rest of his clothing style. He left the suitcase on the ground, out of the way of the street, and sauntered over your way, with the confidence of someone who had been invited to join. Cole finally stood up to greet the person. You followed suit.
Excellent.
I don't know what kind of voice I expected, but that was not the voice I expected. That voice was way deeper than I expected. I'm Baxter Ward. It's excellent to meet you, neighbors. You were standing on the side he was approaching from. When Baxter got close enough, he offered his hand to you first. You shook it. You offered a low five to him. You held arms. Why would you hug a stranger? Why not just shake the hand? Baxter gripped your arm firmly to give a satisfying shake. Hi, Baxter. I'm True. Hey, True. I'm quite keen on getting to know you better this summer. We could be good friends. That's okay. I think Baxter is cute. Yeah, Baxter is cute. I do not... he's very confident, though. Like, I could not see myself say and do the things he does. I would. Honestly, most likely if someone was watching me get out of a taxi to get into a vacation house, I would walk into the house faster. Out of, like, embarrassment or something. From the other side, Cove made a sudden sputtering noise. Someone is jealous. And you are? He lifted his hand out to Cove next. Cove shook his hand, still eyeing Baxter carefully. Baxter, I'm Cove. Baxter's Walden manner lit up for an unknown reason. His eyes shone as he studied Cove for a moment.
Really?
Ah! I know someone who has as Baxter's. I kind of do. Like, I have multiple people who have, like, certain traits that, like... yeah, I know certain people who resemble them in some bits. But most of my friends are just as socially awkward as I am. Anyway, I think the voice is gonna jump scare me this entire game. I'm not gonna get used to the suddenly deep voice out of nowhere. Now wait, is that a nickname or your real name? It's just my name? Cove spoke mildly, having given the explanation many times in the past, but it clearly charmed Baxter all the same. He tossed his head to one side with a laugh. Your parents knew exactly what they were doing. I can't imagine a more fitting name for a face I'm seeing. Cove. That's gorgeous.
What?
It's really not? No, I agree. It suits you. Hey, only I get to fluster him. I don't know who is more jealous. Cove of, like, the interaction between True and Baxter, or True between the interaction. I feel like just they're both jealous of each other at this point. Let's consider you're talking to a stranger, Baxter. No, I'm gonna go with this option, because I find it funny. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do that? It wasn't my intention. Baxter grinned welcomely. The entire conversation brought a burning red blush to Cove's face, and he couldn't make eye contact with either of you. You know what? No, never mind. Baxter, you're great. We can bully Cove together. Yeah, of course Cove is jealous. It was, like, quite clear of, like, the spluttering noises he made when Baxter introduced himself. You noticed that Baxter looked apologetic over Cove's increased discomfort. Ah, never mind, you're not gonna bully Cove with me. I'm sorry, I wasn't intended to mean more than it did. I like your name, but you don't have to mind that. I'm patently against stepping on anyone's toes. He chuckled to himself. It seemed like there was some extra meaning hidden there in his words. You noticed that Cove raised an eyebrow, picking up on that too. Baxter didn't even open his eyes to see your faces to know he had some filling to do. He stood up straighter, striking a slight pose with the position on his feet. Is he like a model? He could be a model. He gives me off model vibes. I don't know why, I just got vibes that he's a model. Ah, ballroom dancer. Close enough, honestly. It's like a completely different job, but like the same vibe, so I get why I was confused. I'm a ballroom dancer, hence the phrasing. Oh. Yeah, but hey, I didn't know that yet. I had to click through the story. I was just guessing. No, I didn't know much about dancing. That's pretty cool. It's not hard once you get the basics down. Cove didn't look convinced at all. Baxter took that as a cue to keep talking. Teach us how to dance. It won't end horribly at all, I promise.
Well.
Well. He grinned in a way that was rapidly becoming familiar to you. If either of you are ever looking for a partner, I'm available. Like dancing partner, I'm assuming, right? Otherwise, this is like very, very coming forward. Like, I'm available. Date me. Well, that depends on what type of dance the person is learning. Wait, what? Being terrible at it or it being easy to learn? I'm very confused. I kind of forgot what was being said. Hold up. Oh, is it? It's not hard once you get the basics down. Is that what you were talking about? Go frowned over the forwardness. Thanks. I will pass, I think. I could probably show you some moves. I will take it. I'm gonna take him up on that offer. Why not? Look forward to it then. After that, there was a lull in the conversation and Cove attempted to fill it.
So,
What made you decide on Sunset Bird? Oh yes, well my parents rented the condo, so I have a place to stay while I'm off for a semester from college and not living in the dorms. So he got rich parents? There was a playful glint in Baxter's eyes as he continued.
honestly.
Idly, this is like, I've heard that voice multiple times now, and I get jump scared every single time. How is that possible? At one point I have to get used to it, right? I've never had it with a voice before. Maybe it's because they barely speak. I'm gonna use that excuse to, like, salvage the little bit of pride that's left. Ideally, they wanted to send me somewhere that wasn't too exciting. But lucky for me, they picked the wrong street, considering the two of you live here. I did first as well. Glad I'm not alone. My pride has been built up a little bit more. God was practically reeling over how Baxter found a way to fit comments like that into every single topic thus far. It's pretty impressive that he's basically flirting with every sentence that he's saying. I know it's probably not meant to be flirty, but it could be taken that way, and I love that about it. Why do you keep doing that? You don't know us, but you talk like you already do. Cove spoke firm yet genuinely confused, and Baxter smiled cautiously. I don't feel like the need to keep words of praise to myself, and when I say something, I mean it.
See?
Plus, what's the point of spending my off semester alone? The best part of being somewhere new is getting to interact with new people. And honestly, I'm the first person who acknowledged you're attractive and intriguing people. True, you're hidden away in a tiny tourist trap, but still. Baxter crossed his arm. After studying your face for a few more seconds, he decided to continue. Am I only trying to score a hookup or get a romantic fling started by saying those things? No, that isn't the point of speaking well of others. I was raised better than that. So he was flirting, I guess. I'm very confused right now. I'm not good with social interactions. What does any of this mean? I'm getting more and more confused the longer this goes on. Though, would I be fussed if that was what my words led to? Also no. I am flexible. Not a surprise, I can back off with the lines if you don't like the attention, but I would like to be friends if we can. Cove wasn't sure how to respond. He glanced at you and he continued to look at your face when he spoke. Thanks for answering. I'm not interested in any of that with you. Maybe not the friend thing, but the other part. I'm finding it pretty entertaining. I'm finding it entertaining. Yeah, I'm just gonna say I find it pretty entertaining. Baxter laughed at that. Glad we're working things out. Shifting his weight to his other foot, Baxter tried to move forward. So, since you were both already out here, did my arrival interrupt anything? Definitely not. You smiled and silently agreed. You laughed in a conspiratorial way. You looked away nervously. You told Baxter that you were both waiting to see who was gonna move in. No, we're just gonna silently agree. If Cove wasn't going to say anything, neither were you. Baxter didn't need to know how much of today was spent waiting to see who was moving in. Baxter watched you both carefully for a hint of what was going on, but decided not to pry any further. Well, if either of you are free, I'd be thrilled to hang out this summer, but we can save the scheduled talk for later. I should get my things inside. He gave a small nod of the head and flashed you both a dazzling smile.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for today. Bye. Grove gave a small wave as well. Bye, Baxter. Baxter, see you. Baxter then turned on his heels and strolled back to his suitcase, picking it up and bringing it to his condo. You and Cove were silent as Baxter unlocked the door and disappeared inside the house. With him completely out of the scene, Cove let out a long breath.
Well,
I don't know how I'm gonna explain that guy to my dad. Yeah, Dad, remember the person that moved in? Yeah, no, he immediately started flirting with both of us, and I'm very confused, and I'm very jealous. How do I deal with this situation? He burst into a fit of laughter, trying to imagine the conversation. So, like, you like it when people say that sort of stuff about people? It's okay to do it? Never mind. At least the job is done. We saw the new neighbor, and now we can go meet up with Terry and Miranda. Wasn't my whole job Wasn't my whole job, like, chore that the mom gave us, to bring her the mail? We just completely forgot about that. Yeah, we should okay, she's just not getting that mail. It's done. It's just sitting outside, I guess. You gave Baxter's condo one last glance over your shoulder. I thought he was charming. You really weren't sure when, but at some point Baxter won you over. You were curious to get to know him better. Laughing quietly, you wondered how Baxter would fit in with the rest of the neighborhood. Very chaotically. Turning your attention back to Cove, you pushed all the thought of Baxter aside. You started making your way towards the town. A little while later, you and Cove reached the main street in town. All of a sudden, you stopped walking. What's wrong? I think I felt my phone vibrate. You dug your cell phone out and looked at it with a satisfied grin. There was a new message. You opened the new message from Miranda, and all you saw was, "I can't see you." Okay, oh wait, hold up. Well, I make a new drink. I can tell a funny story about that. So, a while back... No, not a while back. It's like a long time back at this point. It was like Ace Awareness Week. And I didn't know. I don't really keep track of that personally. But I have a friend who does. And she waited until like midnight. And the first message she sent was, "It's Ace Awareness Week." The second message I got was, "I'm aware of you," or "I can see you." No, "I'm aware of you." And then like the third one was like the eye emojis, you know, like the two eyes. However, I didn't see the first notification. So the only random notification I got at midnight that I saw was, "I'm aware of you," and the eye notification. I was there lying in my bed like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Who's standing outside my house at this point? Like, as soon as I clicked on the notification, it was clear what was going on, but I was very confused for like a few seconds. I did not know what was happening. You opened the new, but immediately from where you stood, you started swirling your head around. You couldn't spot Miranda anywhere. But she did send you more messages. That can happen to anyone. What, the ominous messages? I mean, yeah, it can happen to anyone. I was just genuinely confused. And honestly, that's not the worst thing. It's the friend who sends more ominous stuff. I'm also getting quite used to like getting messages like that from her, because she also sends stuff like, "Are you home?" or something like. She doesn't give context. She just asks, "Are you home?" And if I say yes, she falls quiet, and then she shows up at my door. Or I get the message like, "I will be there in 15 minutes." Ha! I see you looking. Where are you? Come on. Really, Randy? Hello? Oh, I thought those were messages already being sent. Oh, and now we need to click, okay. I clearly know how to use a phone. I was just very confused. The message was sent, and you were back to looking around, scanning for any signs of movement and familiar faces. But they were still invisible. Gove looked at you carefully, raising an eyebrow. Send your own joking text. Laugh at her antics. Now we're gonna send the joking text. If you want to keep hiding, Gove and I can just go do our own stuff without you. Is that what you're deciding on? He smirked, hitting send on the message. Gove looked at you, curious, raising an eyebrow. What's happening? Before you could even begin explaining anything to Gove, you both snapped your attention to yelling from across the street. And then you saw Miranda and Terry coming from behind the backside wall of the grocery store. They both start waving wildly to draw even more attention to themselves. Gove took a step in their direction, grinning. He put his hand around his mouth to project his message across the street. Hey! Laughing and arm in arm, the girls stopped only to look both ways, and then rushed across the empty street.
Hi.
Hi, I hope you weren't waiting too long.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddies. Oh, that sounds fun. Hi. The joke was not funny. I'm amazed you did appear out of nowhere like that. Better than to jaywalk. I forgot it was like an American thing, and I was like, what even is jaywalking again? I don't think. Wait. Hold up. Jaywalking me. Netherlands. There's no concept of jaywalking in the Netherlands, so it's not an offense. Yeah, okay, I get why I'm confused. It's not even... Like, you gotta be careful, otherwise you will be hit with a bike, a motor, an auto, or no, wait, car, what's more? Someone else walking. Like, you just gotta be careful. Especially in, like, busy cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, Den Haag. I forgot the English names. But, like, the busy cities, you have to be careful to not get hit. But, like, you can just cross the street. Why is it illegal in America to cross the street? I started giggling again. Terry glanced at Miranda, wondering what their stories should be.
Ooh.
It was magic! Gesturing in a vaguely whimsical manner, Terry went along with the decision. And magicians never reveal their secrets. Ooh! That's fair. Terry then closed the distance between her and Gove and crushed him in a painfully tight hug. You're finally here. It's been so long. What took you? He did his best to eke out a reply with his chest being compressed.
Sorry.
Sorry. Eventually, she let him go. Terry looked at him with a beaming smile, but Gove was distracted, rubbing his arms. Standing there, Miranda shifted her weight to her other hip. She watched Gove patiently, with a bashful smile. Welcome back. Thanks. It finally felt official. Everyone was together in one place. From there, you weren't sure how often you would have another afternoon like this again. They didn't either.
So?
Gove? Terry poked Gove square in the chest. You're gonna have to get me your schedule by this time yesterday.
No way.
Not really possible, Terry, but I can't say as soon as I know. So far, work hasn't said anything, but I can tell you I'm busy with Orca activities. When Cove wasn't at his part-time job or pursuing his academic interests, he volunteered for the Ocean Restoration California Affiliation, Orca. The group focused on cleaning up the beaches and removing pollution from the ocean. Cove always loved the sea. It didn't surprise you one bit when he started getting involved with them. It was Cove's activity. He joined Orca to learn too after learning of it. You were an Orca member, you know. Yeah, I could join it. Why not? Sounds fun. The big smash event of the year is coming up, right? Yeah, there's not that much more to do before then, but I'm kinda looking forward to the fundraising push. Hopefully we can pull it off. If anyone can do it, it's you two. And even if it goes really bad, it still looks good on a college application at least. Hi! You're really on time, even with my warning messages. I'm sorry. No. You don't have to be sorry. It's fine. It's fine. I just sent those messages. Yeah, I don't really look at messages during stream, but I'm seeing them now and oh my god. So you ate dinner and you forgot about the message again. Okay, you know what? That's okay. Next time I will just spam you with messages, sure? No, I'm not gonna do that, but like, happens a little too much. Yes, do that. Okay. If I'm gonna send one more message next time at like the 30 and the 1 hour mark, and after that you're on your own. You can set your own alarms or something. That's true. Hey, guess what else? We don't have to stand here to say stuff. Let's go. I would like a meal now. Perking up, Cove nodded in agreement. Yeah, for sure. The four of you headed into town, happily chatting the whole way. The only decision left to make was where exactly to stop and eat. The rest of the afternoon and evening passed by in the blink of an eye. When night fell, it was time to head home, and you parted ways with Miranda and Terry. You and Cove reached your neighborhood without an event. It was late enough that your out-of-the-way street was dark and silent. Your slow burn romance lemma. Yes. I have set it on the crush level. And however, I did not choose the boyfriend option you had in the beginning. So, technically, we're still not dating. No. It's no slow burn if it was not slow and very painful. But you have a crush now? Yes. We have gone up a level with the affection level, whatever it's called. You're calling that one spicy over there. You know what? If I didn't have the context of the game, like, right now with the levels, I would just assume you were talking about my own love life that does not exist. You strolled in a skip in your step. You ambled along. Cove is giving you a pig. We're now getting the piggyback. I want a piggyback ride. It was a long day out and about. You appreciated that you could rely on him to make things more comfortable for you. You tightened your grip on Cove and turned your head ever so slightly. Peering at his face out of the corner of your eye, you wondered why he felt so distant to you. It was out of character. Oh, he probably didn't like that I allowed Baxter to flirt with me, right? I know he's jealous, but like, dang. For a while, Cove silently stared ahead and left you alone with your own thoughts. It It surprised you when you did hear his voice all of a sudden. He still wouldn't look at you. Yes, he's a very jealous boy. Dexter's voice scared me, by the way. Dexter's voice. He scared me so much. Like, I was not expecting such a deep voice. And I'm slowly getting used to it, but I slightly get jump scared maybe every time. It feels weird coming back to the neighborhood and trying to get into things like they're the same. And they're not. They've changed. They're still changing. Your mouth felt uncomfortably dry all of a sudden. That was true. The things that kept the people you knew together were starting to disappear. Each person had to make their own priorities and their own path. Now, it wasn't set for them. You thought about your own immediate future. You had been considering more and more, and ideas were starting to settle in your mind. You hoped to go to school full-time, to go to school further, focus on time that's not school or work. I would go to school part-time, I think. And to work part-time. And that was the basic. To focus on time that's not work, and that was the basic. You can choose your whole life path. I'm in step 3. I think at this point I have realized I can choose my whole life path. That came out a bit more sarcastic than I meant, but you know what? I stand behind it. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean it like that. For your career, you thought you'd find a company to work online, do contact words, start your own business, work online, and find a company to work at. Sure, and that was all. For your education, you thought you'd attend, take online classes. These schools are too American for me. Let's just go with online classes. For yourself, you wanted to work on self-improvement, take some time to just relax, try to figure out what you truly want and relax. I don't need self-improvement, I'm perfect. And that you wanted to stay local, go to a different part of the state, go out of state, go abroad. Let's go abroad. It'd be all happening so soon. Go to the Netherlands, yes. Yep, already applied to schools and jobs. I was preparing. And those you were close, you kept it all this to yourself. For now, you wondered what Cove had in mind. You had heard him considering some things for his future, but it was never anything that would counter that as a real plan. Cove stopped in the middle of the street. He sighed and put you down. You were both outside your houses. Cove looked at the ground for a moment. His mouth trembled, trying to settle on the right words to say. So, what do you think you're gonna do now for the future? With the amount of hours effort again. Valid. Always, like, I don't know if you meant with, like, a new playthrough that you were in the middle of a playthrough, but valid. Start a new playthrough. Create chaos. Be chaotic. Make dumb and smart choices. Go for it. Wait, D, how many hours did you have in the game again? This game, like, yeah, no, D, how many times, how many hours did you have in the game? Did you know that? I forgot. I think you've told me once before. Like, Rainbow just told me he had, like, 437 hours. Yeah. I'm curious if you can be. I'm not beating either of you, because I have. Oh, at the moment I have 16. Oh, I have 50, 65. Yeah, no. Hey, you just said you could play this game a million times over. Hey, fair enough, it's a good game. Explain what you were thinking. You did your best to articulate what he could expect from you, and he listened quietly. Thanks you to do it. Why not? Cove closed his eyes and nodded, while he composed his thoughts. He looked at you and he lifted his head.
I mean...
I decided on something. Well, kind of. Sometimes we stayed up all night to play this game. Fair enough. Honestly, I wanted to say that doesn't sound smart. But at the same time, I'm the person who stayed up until like way too early in the morning. And I'm talking like 6 a.m. to read fanfiction. And this game is even more like immersing, I think is the word I'm seeking. Like, it's more immersing than a fanfiction. So I totally get why you would stay up and play this game the entire night. He smiled slightly and rubbed his arms, and then his expression grew more serious. I'm not gonna decide on a school or a career, not this summer. I'm gonna stay here, at least in Sunset Bird. I'll probably move out of my dad's place. Into a romance, or friendship you would never have. One time I was sugar rush for 72 hours straight without any sleep. Okay, that's... wow. The longest I have stayed awake is like... honestly, I'm not really certain, but I would wake up at like 7 a.m. the first day. I would be unable to sleep through the night. And I would crash as soon as I came home at like 6 p.m. from school. So that's almost 48, no. 30 something. Let's just go with 30 something. When I'm hyper, actually, I act totally different from how I usually do. Fair enough, to be honest. I'll keep working my job, keep doing my volunteer stuff and everything else.
I don't know.
Maybe I will know what I want for a life by fall, or next year, or maybe I will never have a plan. Life will continue on, with whatever is happening. I'm not gonna crush myself trying to have everything figured out by a timeline that someone else has set. I just can't do it. Oh my god, this got personal. Also, you with your honestly yes just escape into a romance or friendship you will never have. How dare you personally attack me like that? You probably also personally attacked you like that, but I'm taking this personally. His brow furrowed and his tone was tense. It was clear how much expectations were waiting on him. I know, that's not very exciting, but it's the best I can do now. It's relevant for everyone. Fair enough. I think at least. Well, no. You do need to exclude the people in a relationship. Well, you also said friendship. Okay, there's like a small group of people that that's like fit for that. He laughed self-deservedly. But with the way his face looked, you thought he was actually... he actually wanted to... yeah, some lucky ones. Wait, I meant like... what you said only affects like a small group of people. Not like the small group of people is the like exception of what you said. How is having no friends... Wait, what? No, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get... it affects everyone, but... okay. So you're just saying everyone with friendships and in romantic relationships, if they want to, they're still miserable? At some point in their life, yes. You know what? Fair enough. You felt annoyed. Why would you feel annoyed? Oh no, my friend made a decision with what they're gonna do with their life. Now I feel annoyed because it's not what I want them to do. Blah 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 blah. Looked at him deep. How do you look at someone deeply? That plan sounds very cove. Nothing about this plan surprises you. Honestly, you felt like you should have seen it coming. But recklessly, you had to support him every step of the way. Exactly. He exhaled, releasing some tension in his shoulders. Thanks for hearing me out on this. You know him well enough to know that Cove wasn't feeling completely better about the way things were. No matter what was happening, I just want you to know that you won't ever lose me. I won't really be gone. I will still be there for you the best I can, whenever it's long distance or whatever else. Cove's whole expression softened, his lip pulled into an affectionate smile.
It's okay.
True, you deserve to have everything you want in life. Oh, that's so sweet. I want you to get everything you want in life. I can't decide between you're wonderful and I want you to get everything you want in life. Let's go with I want you to get everything you want in life. That sounds fun. Both are good. Yeah, I know, right? Both are like great options to say to someone. So they were both not nice options. Let's put it that way. I don't know why talking is getting so hard for me. Saying he is wonderful, I think, makes him blush. Wait, what? It does not. You're a liar. Ignore me immediately checking that out. Yeah, no. That flew out of your mouth immediately, but you meant every word. His mouth pulled in a delighted grin. Looking at you fondly, Cove took a step closer, and he placed a hand on your shoulder. The warmth of his proximity helped you relax. What's he gonna say? Like the same, oh, he's staring up. Oh no. I wanted to joke, is he gonna say the same thing he said earlier today? With like he copied his dad then. Do you ever get the chance to call him cute and you say, I have made him blush multiple times, okay? I know what I'm doing. I'm great with I'm not great with flirting. Honestly, if I ever like something, Jesus, if I ever like someone well enough that I like want to flirt with them, the chances are more likely that I will fall down the stairs or walk into like a wall, a door, whatever. Because that's like the option my mind takes. I get distracted. I am, yes, most definitely the flirt master. Falls down the stairs. He spoke to you softly. Wholeheartedly, he meant every word. Things are hard right now. It scares me. But it will be okay. It will be more than okay. Now that things are up to us, we can make our lives better than they ever were. You believed him. You felt unsure. You felt better after his reassurance. You appreciate his attempt to put on a brave face. Don't get distracted by flirting too much. Oh, no. I didn't mean like I would walk into things because I get distracted by flirting. My mind would try to come up with something. I would feel embarrassed. And I would try to like walk away or something like that and just not look where I'm going. That was the way I was going. But yet, to be honest, I could see myself getting distracted by trying to flirt too. That's also an option. You appreciate this attempt to put on a brave face. Honestly, I've never flirted with any... Well, that's a lie, actually. I have flirted with people, but all of those were like jokingly flirting with people. It didn't mean anything. It was just joking around. So that doesn't really count, I think. I mean, me flirting with friends is always just jokingly. It means nothing. You could tell how hard Cove was trying to keep himself together for you. You hoped that he was right, and things would be okay for both of you. Deeply you met Cove's grace. You nodded. As his expression morphed into a look of careful confidence, clearly he was still struggling with this topic, and you wondered what else might be on his mind. I ran straight into the lamppost one time when I was younger and not paying attention to where I was going. I can say something more embarrassing. There was a period when I was younger that if I had to wake up for school earlier, or earlier than now, I had to wake up early, let's put it that way. And if I was tired enough and not awake enough, I would open my door the wrong way. Or, well, not open the door the wrong way, because that's not possible. So I would try to open my door and just walk straight against it. There was a start, I think. But it's not over, is it? We'll have to keep talking about it going forward. Yeah. Cove softly reiterated his promise. It will all be okay. We still always be for each other. Is that good with you? It is. Cool. That's cool. That hurts. I've done that as well. Yeah. I can just imagine you bumping into a few items trying to figure out why you're not in the next room. To be honest, it's one of the reasons why I have so many, like, unexplainable bruises on my body. I will just gather bruises and then be like, how did I get those? Meanwhile, I'm just walking into every object in my way. Oh, that's cool. I will see you tomorrow, true? I will see you. Night. He pulled you into an unexpected hug. It knocked the breath out of you, yet couldn't have been more reassuring feeling. You returned his embrace and stayed that way for as long as you could.
Good night.
Night. He finally let go, giving you another smile. Then Cove started walking away, but you remained there, frozen in the middle of the street. You watched him and wondered, how many more times will he be able to say that? He will see you tomorrow. You hoped for countless more times. Finally, you turned around, turned towards your own house. You vowed to yourself that you would make the most out of every moment you had this summer. Yay! We finally completed the what's it called? The prologue? Yes, that was the prologue of, like, step 3. No, it took me like 2.5 hours to only go through the prologue. I'm thinking I might no, I think I will be ending the stream here for today because my throat is starting to hurt from talking too much. So I saved the game, right? Yeah, okay, I saved, yes. I do actually, I kind of want to continue, but I will not because I'm gonna take care of myself. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna stream this soon again. I have a school break at the moment, so I have time to stream quite a lot. If it's the next stream, I'm not sure. The next stream might as well be like, what's it? Stardew Valley. I also just started playing that one again, and there are other games I'm still playing, so we're gonna see when I play this next, but I wanna thank you all for watching, and until next stream, I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye!